Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time it is a Build-A-Figure review, and we're going to be reviewing the Demogoblin Build-A-Figure from the first Spider-Man series of 2020. So this is quite exciting. We started the wave off with two big waves, a Spider-Man wave and a Fantastic Four wave. I am doing a ranking video of both of those, so stay tuned for that if they're not already posted, but I'll also definitely be reviewing the Build-A-Figures from both of those waves. And here we're going to start off with Demogoblin. So let's get into it. Overall, I think that this is a weak Build-A-Figure, to be honest. I don't think it's fantastic. Character-wise, I think it's cool. I think he's got a very striking look, and there are some, good things with this figure. However, I think that on the lazy scale, this one does definitely get pretty high up there, to be honest, which is unfortunate. But let's get into it. Let's start off with the glider. First of all, as you can see, the complete package, him on the glider with the stand, I think is really cool. I think it gives him a lot of depth, and, in certain photos and things, you can really make this thing look like it's gliding, which is very cool. He's very sturdy on the glider as well. There's no pegs on his feet. It is simply just, you just hook his little, hooks of feet, basically, essentially, into the little clasps there. And that's what hold him on, and it holds him very sturdy, which is nice. Let's remove him, though, just so that we can get a good look at just the base. So as you can see, it takes some work to actually get him off that, which is impressive. So just talking about the glider here. The glider, I think, is quite neat. Obviously, it's a full kind of fire-style glider, which is unique compared to the other Goblin figures and characters who have more mechanical gliders. This one's almost supernatural in the fact that it's all flames, which I think is very cool. It's painted nicely. The front section here is kind of a yellow translucent that bleeds into almost like a orangish, and then at the very tips, it has almost like a reddish kind of color to it, which I think is very nice. It's colored really well. I do like that a lot. My only issue maybe with it is that the head is very dark, almost like a reddish, which, it looks kind of like red, yellow, orange. I wish that it bled a little bit better. The actual glider right here bleeds into the color really nicely, but the head is so just kind of red and then yellow. So I would have liked maybe a little bit more, and they have a little bit of yellow kind of bleeding into it, but it doesn't come across as smooth as this does. So I'd like maybe some of the yellow streaks to kind of run down the head a little bit more so that it looks like it fits in a little bit better. This piece, if I'm not mistaken, this little clear plastic piece, I think that came with the Black Series Scout Troopers. I think that this is the same one. I might be wrong, but I think that it's the same. It has a very similar feel to me, and if it's not the same, it's a similar design. I actually really like it, though. I think that it's very very minute. It's not super in your face, but it works super well, because not only does it give articulation on the glider to be able to pose it and to go kind of wherever you want, to put the glider in whatever pose you want, but it also is extremely sturdy. This thing is very tight, even with the figure on the glider itself. So that's impressive. Overall, I think the glider is really nice, and the glider is the thing that makes this guy a little bit more on the Build-A-Figure scale. I definitely think that this is really just a regular figure, to be honest, but the glider is what helps it kind of come more into the realm of Build-A-Figure category. To be honest, I think that this figure could totally be just packaged in the wave itself. The only thing that makes him a little bit more is the fact that the clear piece that goes on the glider, because you could pack the figure with the glider and it would have been fine, but having that clear piece makes it a little bit more Build-A-Figure-like. And there is my biggest complaint of the figure, and it's going to take a second to actually find that piece. Hold on one moment. Alright, I got it back on. So yeah, let's just jump right into that. That's the thing that I dislike the most about this figure, is this wrist here doesn't stay into the arm super well. It wants to fall out immediately, which is super annoying, to be honest. It just shouldn't happen. I try to really push it in there. Hopefully it'll stay a little bit better, but it is quite annoying, I must say. The figure himself, though, is good. Just not Build-A-Figure good, essentially. So the easiest way to do this is to start a comparison, because there are two Goblin figures that came out very recently that use a lot of the same pieces, and they're both normal figures, as you can see just looking at these guys. He is in the exact same kind of category as these other Goblin figures, and yet only one of them is a Build-A-Figure, which I don't really think is necessary. So first of all, what's reused? The arms. The arms are completely reused from both of the other figures. They all have the same arms. The only difference is the glove pieces down here. Those are new pieces. So the glove, the little chain bracelet, and then the hands are new. The torso is exactly the same as the other ones. The only thing that's new is his belt area. And then the legs are not from either of these Goblin figures, but they're normal Marvel Legends legs. So those are reused as well. However, when you get down to the feet, then the boots are reused from the other Goblin figures. So the only new, and then, okay, the other thing is the cape. The cape is reused from Hobgoblins, so the cape's not even new. It's not a new design. The only things that are new about this figure is the gloves, the hands, the belt, and the head. Those are the only new pieces when it comes to the figure himself. So that's just really weak. You know, every now and then a Build-A-Figure uses or reuses parts. However, it usually, if not every single case, reuses parts from a different Build-A-Figure. But to do a Build-A-Figure that reuses parts from a regular figure is just annoying, to be honest. So I'm not quite happy with that. I would have much preferred this be a regular figure in the wave with the glider and not include the clear plastic piece. The clear flight stand is cool, but it's not necessary, and that's really the only thing that I can see that tips him over into being even somewhat of a Build-A-Figure, because this figure really should not be a Build-A-Figure in my opinion. Now the Super Skrull, I'll do a review on him of course, but he has more of a Build-A-Figure quality to him. He's still, you know, within the realm of a normal figure scale-wise. However, he has more of a Build-A-Figure quality, while this figure does not. This figure reuses a lot of normal figure pieces, and he does not scream Build-A-Figure, which is a shame. Now, when you go over, and all the paint on him is very standard. There's no kind of like shadowing. There's nothing much going into the paint. It's all what you see is what you get. Like the color that you're looking at is the color that it is. There's no extra shading. There's no kind of depth to the coloring, which is unfortunate. Same thing with the cape. You know, really plain. Now the face sculpt is the one area that I think is quite unique and looks very cool. However, the Hobgoblin figure came with a similar face sculpt to this, so it's not even that unique on its own. But let's see if I can get a good look at it. It's really cool. I do like it's very aggressive. The teeth are painted very well as the eyes, and the tongue is sculpted very nicely. Has a good swirl to it. I like the way that the hood is almost like busting open. I think that's neat. And then the little piece at the end, at the back there, is very nice. So the face sculpt is good. I like the face sculpt quite a bit. And yeah, overall, a disappointing figure in total, to be honest. I wouldn't say that this is a great figure. I think that if it was part of the normal wave, I would have thought that it was really cool. But I wouldn't have even like gone over the moon for it if it was in the normal wave too. So for the fact that it's the Build-A-Figure of a wave, I think that it is really lackluster, to be honest. And the wave itself isn't like a stellar wave. It's okay. It has some really good figures in it. It has some figures in it. So it's not like, well, the wave is so good that they needed to cheap out on the Build-A-Figure, because the wave itself is fine. Like there's no huge characters in the wave. So I don't understand why they needed to cut down on the Build-A-Figure other than just cutting cost overall. And therefore, that just makes Hasbro seem really cheap and makes the wave look cheap overall. So personally, if you're a big fan of the figures in this wave, if just like every figure is one that you want, then this is a nice little bonus for you. But I wouldn't recommend buying this entire wave for the Build-A-Figure for sure. If there's only one or two figures in the wave that you actually want, it's not worth getting the entire thing for this Build-A-Figure. He's a nice addition, but he isn't anything super special. Unless you're just the biggest Demogoblin fan in the world, he's your favorite, Marvel character, I don't really see much of a need to have this one, to be honest. But there you go, that's my review of this Marvel Legends Demogoblin Build-A-Figure from the first Spider-Man wave of 2020. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.